8 spine-chilling paranormal encounters exposing sinister shadows, cursed doors, and Jinn. Lisa's heart raced as she stood behind the counter of the dimly lit convenience store, the flickering fluorescent lights casting unsettling shadows across her face. Hollow Creek had always felt like a ghost town, but tonight the air was thick with a palpable dread. She tried to shake off the nightmarish vibe until a shifty-eyed customer shuffled forward, his breath heavy with foreboding. "Be careful around here, lady," he whispered with a grin that froze her blood. "This town holds secrets better left buried. The shadows, they're watching you." After he left, unease settled into her bones. As soon as she returned home, she felt the weight of her crumbling Victorian house pressing down on her. The screams of memories long buried haunted her now. Josh and Emma were already asleep, but the thought of their innocent dreams twisted her stomach. Shadows danced along the walls, relentless phantoms whispering her name in rhythm. Maybe it was just exhaustion, she told herself, but late-night fears had a way of revealing deeper truths. When she tucked Josh in, his big blue eyes were wide with terror. "Mom, did you hear them?" he asked, voice quivering. Emma nodded, big curls framing her pale face. "There are shadows in our room, Mommy. They want us." Lisa brushed off their fears, convincing herself kids had vivid imaginations fueled by the late hour. The following afternoon, while gardening, Mrs. Davison leaned over the fence with her usual gossip. "You know that house of yours? It was built on cursed land. Kids went missing years ago." The words sent chills racing down Lisa's spine. What was it about their house? The laughter that once filled its halls now felt swallowed by silence, replaced with eerie echoes. That night, the atmosphere cracked with tension. Lisa heard faint whispers seep through the walls, insidious voices calling out to her. Panic clenched her heart. She called for her kids, but they didn't answer. Rushing to their room, she was met with a sight that twisted her gut. The children were awake, eyes wide but lifeless. "Mommy, it hurts," Josh whimpered as if in pain. But the fear bubbled beneath the surface like a boiling pot. "Before we continue, I need to tell you something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to their system, and many people are missing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and select all notifications so you don't miss future videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now, let's continue." Lisa's resolve crumbled. She felt it then, an unseen force closing in, the shadows whispering maliciously. Emma's giggle turned into a cackle, her face twisting into something dark and not her.
Own. The room turned icy, and Lisa's heart raced as she collapsed to her knees, battling the reality before her. This wasn't just a game. There was something sinister gripping her family. An ear-splitting scream shattered the silence from the backyard. "Mom!" Their voices now echoed, but they felt distant, disconnected. Lisa bolted towards the sound, dread surging through her like ice water. What loomed beyond her threshold? Desperation pierced through her foggy fears. She had to save them, but who was waiting in the shadows? The truth loomed menacingly, and Lisa realized any help she sought from the town could lead her deeper into the treacherous darkness. As she pushed open the back door, shadows slithered inside, ready to claim their next victim. Which secrets would she uncover? In a town stained by betrayal, would she find allies or more darkness? The line between reality and nightmare blurred as she stepped into the unseen terror. Lisa's heart thudded in her chest as she crossed the threshold into the backyard. The moonlight bled into the space, illuminating her children's faces briefly before the shadows clawed at the light, dragging it back into darkness. She could hear it now, the whisper of unseen figures lurking in the corners of the yard. their intent as chilling as the late-night wind that rustled through the branches. "Mom, over here!" Josh's voice broke through the freezing grip of fear, but it sounded muffled, as if he were underwater. Each step toward them felt heavier, the air thickening around her. I can't see you," she cried, her voice tight with growing panic. As she stumbled further into the darkness, a shadow grasped at her ankles, pulling her down. She jerked her foot away, her body trembling. "Stay together," she shouted to her kids, feeling their presence pull farther away, as if the shadows spun them into a black abyss. What awaited her in the shadows? The backyard was a familiar space, but now it morphed into a labyrinth of dread, the familiar trees becoming twisted specters. She stumbled over a garden gnome, its chipped paint glistening like a warning in the dark. Then, silence. The haunting sounds of the night faded, replaced by a heavy stillness that draped over her like a shroud. "Josh! Emma!" Panic clawed at her throat. It felt like the shadows were snatching her voice, swallowing her shouts whole. Desperation lit her instincts ablaze. From behind her, a rustle, a figure emerged, a silhouette against the gloom. Lisa's heart sank, dread wrapping tight around her heart. "Mommy?" A strained voice, cracked and distorted, echoed from the figure. It took a step forward, and moonlight caught the twisted features of her daughter. Emma's eyes shone with an otherworldly light, and the playful warmth of her laughter felt like a memory slipping away. "Leave her alone!" Lisa shouted, her voice breaking as she lunged. But something held her in place, a grip of shadows racing up her legs, rendering her immobile. "Emma, please, it's not you," she begged, tears streaming down her cheeks. "Mommy, we just want to play." The words dripped with malice. Josh appeared next, mirrored in the same strange glow, the innocence wiped clean from his face. Lisa wanted to scream. Her children were still in there, somewhere beneath the darkness, but the shadows twisted their forms into grotesque mockeries. The air crackled as if charged with electricity, and her skin prickled with an instinctual horror. Suddenly, the oppressive hold released her. She bolted forward, her mind racing. If they truly were lost to the shadows, what did that mean for her? The thought froze her in her tracks. Was she willing to risk everything for children that might not even exist in the same way anymore? "Mommy!" They reached out, fingers stretching toward the light that fled further away. But as she reached for them, the ground shifted beneath her. The gnome's head turned, its painted eyes blinking, sending a chill creeping up her spine. "You cannot save them," it muttered, voice low and gravelly. The shadows began to swirl, spiraling around her, forming a barrier, leaving her teetering on the edge of something unspeakable. A clock somewhere suddenly chimed midnight, the sound echoing like a death knell. And it dawned on her, a horrifying realization. This curse ran deeper than just her home. It was tied to the land itself, flowing through the very roots of Hollow Creek. "Mommy, help!" Their voices strained against the weight of the shadows closing in. But could she? Could she bear the cost? Just as her resolve began to crumble, a sudden flash and a pair of glowing eyes emerged from the thick darkness. "Help has arrived," the creature hissed, voice slithering into her ears. A glimmer of hope, or a deeper descent into darkness? Amid her spiraling fear, the question lingered. Who would truly save her children, and at what cost? The shadows recoiled momentarily, revealing the creature's twisted form, eyes gleaming like shards of ice. It was unlike anything Lisa had ever seen, its body contorted and elongated, merging with the darkness that clung to it. The air thickened with the heavy scent of decay, as if the very essence of the night had taken a physical shape. What are you?" Lisa barely managed to choke out, her voice trembling. The creature hissed again, a sound that sliced through the stillness, reverberating deep within her bones. "Your children, they are toys in a game far older than you." Each word dripped with malice, echoing through the backyard like a song of despair. Meanwhile, Josh and Emma stepped back, their movements jerky and unnatural, as if strings pulled them back from a puppeteer. They swayed, eyes wide and unblinking, reflecting the moon's eerie glow. "Mommy, we want to play too." Their voices were a chilling chorus, echoing off the trees, and Lisa felt the blood drain from her face. Time seemed to freeze as the creature beckoned toward her children, fingers twitching. Like serpents, the shadows lingered around them, weaving tighter and tighter, as if forming a web that would ensnare not just the kids, but her very soul. "Playtime begins at midnight, and you have arrived just in time," it purred, a smile cracking across its face, splitting the contours of its skin like a stretched canvas. "No!" Lisa screamed, a sudden surge of defiance roaring within her. She threw herself toward her children, desperation fueling her limbs. "Fight it! Focus on me!" It felt as if she were tearing through a dense fog, but she pushed forward, reaching out for them. The creature laughed, a sound that echoed like bones rattling in a grave. "You think you can wrench them from me? The bargain is struck, and it is not yours to break." Just as she touched Emma's hand, the ground below them began to tremble. The vibrations shot through her, each pulse sending waves of terror through her chest. "Mommy!" Emma's voice was clearer now, but tinged with fear. "Help us!" Then came the harsh sound of wood splintering. The gnome, its painted eyes suddenly dull, cracked apart, collapsing into a pile of splinters. The shadows recoiled from the creature, shrinking back almost as if in fear. It screeched, and in the chaos, Lisa seized her moment, pulling her children close. But then the sound of anguished wails erupted around them. Figures began to emerge from the darkness, half-formed specters, twisted and forlorn, their eyes pleading. "Help us! Help us!" "What are they?" Lisa gasped, heart racing. "Please tell me!" The creature exploded in rage, shadows whipping violently around it. "Those are the forgotten, the children before you, forever lost to the void, and soon they will join you." Lisa's breath quickened. She had to do something, anything. "No, I won't let that happen." As her determination surged, the ground began to pulse even more violently, and she felt the air shift. A tether to the other world pulled taut, vibrating with an energy that felt tangible. "Let's go!" she shouted, grabbing both children's hands tightly. "We're breaking free!" But wasn't all this just a desperate illusion? The whispers of trickles from the shadows grew closer, and with them, the menacing laughter of the creature. Faded echoes of joyous cries filled her ears. "Play!" Then silence fell, like a thick blanket, smothering them in darkness. Would she have the strength to sever the chains that bound them to such horror? Would she discover what secrets lay beneath the twisted roots of Hollow Creek before it was too late? The creature's eyes flared like fire as it lunged forward, the walls of shadow closing in mercilessly. "Playtime is just beginning." And in that moment, a chilling question hung in the air. Who would remain standing when the game ended? The ground shook violently beneath them as Lisa's grip tightened around her children's hands.
She could feel the dread seeping in, a palpable force trying to pull them back into the darkness. "Don't look! Away! Keep your eyes on me!" she yelled, the words spilling out in a desperate torrent. Josh and Emma stared at her, their faces pale but determined. Each heartbeat thundered in her chest, drowning out the creature's maddened laughter. The specters emerged with more clarity now, a parade of souls once vibrant, now twisted in sorrow. Their silent screams reverberated through the air, echoing Lisa's own terror. "Mommy, save us!" they seemed to whisper, their mouth movements haunting, no sounds escaping. Suddenly, the creature lunged towards them, dark tendrils shooting out like arrows. Lisa yanked her children backward just in time, the swift rush of air nearly knocking them off balance. "Run!" she cried, but the ground beneath them was no longer steady. It felt like quicksand pulling them into the earth's abyss. The creature's laughter filled the air again, echoing with sadistic glee. "You think you can escape? The game only begins when you're caught." Switching directions, Lisa turned toward the shed at the end of the yard. It loomed dark and forbidding, filling her with a primal fear. But it was their only chance. As they ran, she could glimpse her reflection in the corners of the moonlight. Wild hair, eyes wide with fear. She looked like a specter herself. "Mommy!" Josh shouted. "What's happening?" "I don't know. We need to get away." She felt her voice tremble. The shadows writhed behind them, a twisted army of forgotten souls, rising from the ground, eyes locked onto her children. Reaching the shed door, Lisa slammed it shut behind them, chest heaving as they all collapsed against it. The air was heavy inside, thick with the smell of rust and wood rot. A single bulb hung from the ceiling, flickering ominously. "Are we safe?" Emma whispered, her small voice breaking the tense silence. "For now," Lisa panted, scanning the room. It was cluttered with broken toys, old paint cans, and dusty furniture. The walls felt alive, pulsing like the ground outside. "But we need to think. We can't just hide. We have to fight back." Suddenly, a crash erupted from the door as the creature's form reshaped itself on the other side. "You cannot hide from me, Lisa," the sinister voice sang out, smooth and mocking. "Your children are part of the game now. There's no escaping the play." Through the cracks of the door, Lisa could see shadows shifting, moving restlessly, clawing at the wood. A chill crept deep into her bones, reminding her of how fragile their situation was. "Listen to me. We stick together. No matter what happens, we will face this together." Lisa's heart raced at the thought of what awaited them. An idea sparked at her mind, a way to turn the creature's own game against it. "Josh, Emma, can you trust me?" "Yes," they both whispered back, and Lisa felt a glimmer of hope amidst the chaos. "Good. We need to focus. If we're in its game, we need to change the rules." Behind the door, the sound of scratching grew louder, an insistent reminder of their impending doom. The creature was relentless, its power spilling like a tide, hungry for their fear. "Playtime is far from over," it hissed, and then a horrifying crack sounded as tendrils of shadow began to creep through the splintered wood. "No, we will win!" Lisa shouted, feeling the surge of strength carrying her voice. "We just have to remember one thing. Desire shapes the game, but conviction can end it." As she turned to rally her kids, she realized the shadows weren't just clawing. They seemed to hesitate, as if her words had stung. But in the world ruled by terror, could belief truly rewrite their fate? As the monster pushed harder, the shed trembled, threatening to collapse under the weight of the night. And with a twisted grin etched into its dark visage, the creature whispered just above the din of chaos, "Then let me show you how far a game can go." What awaited them on the other side of that door?
The pounding against the door intensified, a relentless barrage that echoed the racing beat of Lisa's heart. Each thud sent a jolt of panic coursing through her veins. As the shadows crept closer, clawing and scratching, she felt the walls of the shed close in around them. Dust rained down from above, settling like a shroud of despair. "Mom, what do we do?" Josh's voice was a mere whisper, raw fear etched across his small face. Emma clutched his hand tightly, her eyes wide with terror, mirroring her brother's fear. Lisa knelt down, forcing herself to look into their eyes. "We need to remember the light, the spark inside us," she said, her voice steadier now. "The monster feeds on fear. If we can find a way to show it we aren't afraid?" "But how?" Emma's voice trembled, her young mind struggling to process the horror surrounding them. Just then, the creature's laughter erupted again, reverberating through the shed. "Fear isn't something you can just cast aside, Lisa. It's the essence of the game." Without thinking, Lisa grabbed an old flashlight half buried under the debris. She flipped it on, the beam slicing through the suffocating darkness. It flickered nervously at first, but the moment it caught the eyes of the shadows, their movement paused. "Look!" Lisa cried, raising the light higher. "Shadows can't exist in the light!" As the beam illuminated the room, the specters formed into sharper shapes around them, each anguished face pleading with her. "Help us! We can't escape!" they gasped silently. "Shh! I can't help all of you right now," Lisa said, frustration boiling within her. "But if we work together, we can find a way out of this." "Mom," Josh began, but Lisa held up a hand, locking her gaze with the flickering beam of the flashlight. She thought back to stories her own mother told her of light casting out darkness. The truth sank deep within her. Suddenly, with a wild surge of determination, she stepped forward, encouraging her kids to follow. They had nothing left to lose. Together, they began to chant, their voices rising above the laughing monster. "We are not afraid. We will not play your game." They repeated it, a mantra of defiance that filled the small shed, pushing back the shadows momentarily. The scratching at the door became frantic, a wild anger provoked by their revolt. "You cannot imagine the depths of despair. You think your light can conquer me?" The creature howled, rage lacing its voice. "What if it can?" Lisa countered, raising the flashlight as if it were a sword, its beam glowing brighter. "What if it can?" In that moment of defiance, the shadows momentarily receded. It was like a curtain being drawn. But the creature would not be so easily dismissed. A roar erupted from the outside, furious and thunderous, as the door began to splinter under the beast's force. "Quick, the window!" Lisa yelled, feeling the ground tremble, the walls shaking with the fury of the creature. Josh and Emma scrambled to the cracked window, urgency fueling their movement. No longer fixated on the door, the beam of light caught the fluttering specters in its glow, giving them hope. But outside, the shadows came thicker, more aggressive, as if sensing their escape plan. "Mom, it's closing in!" Emma cried, pointing as the darkness swirled, threatening to engulf them again. "I won't let it!" Lisa shouted, determination hardening her resolve. She thrust the flashlight through the window, bathing the night with an eerie glow. "Take my hand," she commanded, her heart pounding as she lifted her children toward the opening, focusing all her strength into the beam. "Fear is not our master," Lisa rallied, awareness surging through her veins. "We will break free." But just as they were about to leap, a sharper shadow, a much darker form, burst through the door, tendrils of pure darkness spiraling like rage incarnate. "Do you honestly believe light will save you?" it hissed, looming over them, an embodiment of despair. With a fierce shove, Lisa pushed her children through the window. "Go, now!" But would she make it out? Could any of them escape the clutches of the thing that thrived on their fear? As dark tendrils snaked forward, she braced herself, prepared to fight to the bitter end. And in that confrontation lay the only hope to unveil the truth behind the shadowed nightmares. Would their light be enough to shine through the relentless dark, or was it merely a flicker in the night? Lisa felt the cold tendrils of darkness wrap around her ankles, pulling her down toward the depths of despair. She could hear the insidious whispers that curled like smoke around her ears, telling her she was already lost. But one thought forced its way through the clamor. Her children were safe. They were outside, away from the creature's clutches, if only for a moment. "Mom!" Josh's voice echoed from beyond the window.
She could hear the desperation in his tone, thickening the air like fog. "Don't leave us!" With a surge of adrenaline, Lisa clenched the flashlight, its weak light flickering against the pitch-black entity before her. It writhed and twisted, revealing glimpses of faces trapped in eternal agony. Each one was a reminder of the monster's cruelty, a testament to fear-stricken lives extinguished. "Leave her be!" Emma screamed, a small, defiant roar against the overwhelming shadow. The creature turned sharply, hissing like a serpent as it caught the wave of emotion. Such brave little souls. Bravery is but a mask for foolishness. With gritted teeth, Lisa pulled against the shadows that tugged at her like chains. A spark ignited inside her, a determination fueled by the need to protect her children. "You're wrong!" she shouted, her voice steady. "We are light and we are love. You only thrive on our fear." The air shimmered as the beam from the flashlight split the gloom. The darkness recoiled, the wails of tortured spirits crescendoing into a chilling harmony. Lisa felt their pain surge through her, but it became a fire, igniting something deep within. She shoved against the shadow, pushing the light toward it as if her will could banish it to oblivion. "Scream all you want," the beast snarled, lunging forward, giant forms of darkness swirling around it. "You'll find none here but despair." In that moment, Lisa realized they were trapped in a nightmare, not of their making. This was a realm of torment, feeding on doubt and anxiety. But if they could unveil the monster's weakness, they might just escape. "Emma, Josh, keep chanting," she urged as she fought against the pulling shadows. "Find your strength together." Their voices broke through the clanking chaos, echoing in a rhythmic heartbeat of unity. "We are not afraid. We will not play your game," they shouted, their chants vibrating against the cold, hard walls. The darkness seemed to shriek in response, tendrils whipping through the air, striking back against the light. The flashlight flickered ominously, its glow now a feeble pulse. Lisa could feel her heart racing, fear and urgency racing through her veins. "Lisa!" Josh cried again, his voice a lifeline. "We can't hold it back!" With a fierce growl of effort, Lisa steadied the flashlight, adjusting her grip. "If we're going to fight, we need to use everything we have." With that, she began pulling memories of brighter days, their family beach trips, laughter filling their old living room, cozy nights with popcorn and movies. Each precious thought became fuel as she poured herself into the light. The shadows hesitated, their grip faltering. For a heartbeat, hope glimmered, star-like, igniting within her. Suddenly, the creature roared, darkness swirling faster, shifting shapes around her. "You think memories will help you? I am the end of all things." In a defiant stand, Lisa pushed back, feeling the warmth of love radiating from the children outside. She took a step forward, vacating her previous ground, challenging the creature head-on. "You are nothing! You cannot claim us!" With one last push, she channeled every ounce of strength, every cherished memory, every whispered promise into the beam.
The flashlight pulsed white-hot, and for the first time, the shadows hesitated. And just as she thought they had a chance, the ground beneath her began to tremble, fracturing like glass. The walls cracked, and darkness poured in around her. There was a moment of weightless silence before the shadows surged once more. The last thing she saw was the panic in her children's eyes, before a tsunami of despair washed over her. Was this what it meant to be consumed? Would she ever see Josh and Emma again? The light flickered once more before threatening to extinguish, leaving Lisa momentarily in darkness, the creature's laughter echoing with cruel delight. Was this truly the end, or only the beginning of something far worse? As she vanished into the abyss, the question lingered in the air, a haunting whisper that teased at the very edges of her collapsing consciousness. Lisa felt weightlessness take over, as if she were suspended in midair, trapped between two realms. The darkness consumed her, wrapping around her like a funeral shroud. It stank of despair, thick and rancid, suffocating her in ways that made her skin crawl. No light, no sound, just the racing pulse of panic drumming in her ears. She blinked hard, hoping to tear her eyes from the void. But nothing broke the dark. With a trembling breath, she reached out, her fingers searching for something, anything to hold on to. "Mom!" The calls of Josh and Emma sliced through the silence like knives. Their voices echoed bright and desperate, but the more she reached, the farther they faded. Fear twisted her gut. She was still tethered to them, but for how long? Would she lose them to the consuming shadow? The whispers returned, crawling across her skin like 1,000 tiny insects. "You can't escape," they hissed, slithering into her mind. "Join us. Join all the others." Images sprang unbidden, the faces from the creature's twisted form. Each one eyes wide with terror and mouths open in silent screams. She shuddered, forcing those thoughts away. Those were not her children. "Fight it," she heard herself whisper through clenched teeth. "I won't let you take them." The void answered with a chilling laugh, deep and rumbling. With every ounce of her remaining courage, she gripped the flashlight in her hand, willing it to ignite. "You are nothing without fear." The words felt like kindling to a flame. And then, a flicker. The flashlight sputtered, a tiny star amid the oppressive night. She felt the cold retreat, if only a few inches. "Keep talking, Lisa," she urged herself. "You still have power." Her memories began to swirl around her, each one sparking like sparks from a dying fire. The laughter from birthday parties, the joyful screams during picnics in the sun, the way Emma's hair danced in the summer breeze. "Mom!" Emma cried again, and it pierced through the haze, direct and clear, more real than the shadows clawing at her. And just like that, she felt a thread of hope weave its way back. "Remember the castle we built?" Lisa cried. "With all the blankets and pillows, you were my brave knights." She threw her voice into the shadows, pouring out her love like a protective shield. Somewhere beneath the layers of darkness, the creature roared in frustration, the cacophony churning the air into chaos. The shadows whipped like a tempest, but between the flashes of paranoia and confusion, she kept her hold on the light. "I am not afraid. We are family. Our love is stronger." With a sudden rush, the darkness recoiled, as though physically struck. Momentarily, the weight of despair lifted. In that fleeting heartbeat, she could see Josh and Emma embracing hope in their eyes, fueled by her voice. But the moment was brief. The shadows reformed with a vengeance, souring the air and twisting together into monstrous shapes. Lisa's heart hammered. "Stay with me," she shouted, desperate for them to hear. The walls of the dark realm shuddered violently, and Lisa felt the floor beneath tremble as if it might collapse. A jagged crack opened, threatening to swallow her whole. "Mom!" The fear in Josh's voice lanced through her, sharp and unbearable. "Emma! Josh!" Each syllable felt like a plea, a raw scream into the abyss. She fought against the shadows with every ounce of will, but the darkness began to sweep in again. The crack widened like a hungry maw. Then a ghostly whisper fluttered to her ears, just above the chaos. "They are not safe. Learn to give in, or lose them forever." The thought crashed over her. Panic surged, blurring her vision. Was there a choice to make? Would surrender mean salvation for her children? Or would she plunge deeper, severing any chance they had to escape? Even as the shadows drew nearer, she braced herself for the decision that loomed there, heavy with dread. In the dark, while the echoes of laughter mingled with shadows, Lisa realized it was only the beginning of a far worse fight. Could she confront the real cost of love? The shadows nudged closer, an insatiable hunger brewing. What if the surviving spirit was not enough to fight? What if darkness always wins? Where would that leave them all? The shadows began to breathe again. Dark tendrils coiled and twisted near her, inching forward, hungry for her despair, ready to consume. Lisa could feel their presence, wrapping around her throat like a noose, tightening with each fleeting second. She fumbled with the flashlight, heart racing, desperate for another spark, another flicker to hold them at bay. "Remember, Lisa," she shouted, drawing from deep within herself, ignoring the icy grip of hopelessness. "Remember the summer rain, how we danced in it. When we laughed and spun, the whole world was ours." The shadows paused, just for a beat. Her memories formed a barrier, creating a flicker of light that refracted through the darkness. For an instant, it felt like the darkness hesitated, like an old foe reeling from a fresh wound. But the relief was fleeting, like a candle on the brink of extinguishing. "Mom!" Emma called, her voice trembling but unwavering. "We are here. We see you. Don't go away." Fingers trembling, Lisa strained against the suffocating weight of the dark. With a pang of determination, she shouted again, "Hold on to each other, no matter what!" The shadows recoiled momentarily, forming a grotesque shape in front of her, an amalgam of lost souls, eyes wide with terror and mouths stretched in soundless screams. Her breath quickened. Each face was a shard of despair, a reminder of their fate if she faltered. This time, the courage surged in her bloodstream like fire. She felt the warmth of love enveloping her, pushing back against the chill. But progress came at a price. The vacuum of despair built up around her, raw and chaotic. The more she pushed against it, the thicker it became. The laughter from her memories morphed into a cacophony of sobs and howls, drowning out her resolve. She clutched her head, trying to block out the sounds, but they seeped in like poison. "Join us," they whispered, sweet and sinister. "Free yourself. Let go." "No!" she screamed, shaking her head violently. "I won't give in. I won't lose them." Panic sliced through her, sharp and unyielding. The darkness drew even closer, and she could almost feel its breath on her skin, a chill that seeped into her very bones. Her heart raced like a wild drum, echoing in the vast emptiness. Suddenly, a crash rang out. The ground tremored, and from the gaping crack emerged a luminescent figure, an ethereal semblance of her children, shimmering like a heat haze. They looked back at her, their faces painted with innocence, but also fear, raw and real. "Mom, help us!" they cried, in unison, their voices a resonant harmony, battling against the torment of the shadowed realm. "Please!" Lisa stumbled forward, an invisible barrier preventing her from reaching them. Frantic tears blurred her vision. "I'm coming!" she shouted, but each word felt like a promise laced with desperation. Then she heard it, a distinct shuffle in the dark, a new presence emerging. The whispers grew louder, more frantic, each syllable shattering the air like glass. "You're too late," it sneered, a voice deep like thunder, twisted with malice. "Fear is your only escape." Lisa's heart pounded. Shadows encircled tighter, pulling her closer toward the crack, toward the radiant figures of her children, now flickering like dying flames. Was this it? Her last stand before they were engulfed, dragged into eternal night? "Mom, please," Josh called again, and the urgency in his voice shot through her, igniting flames of raw fear. With one final push, she summoned every ounce of love, the memories of laughter and joy, and hurled them into the gaping
void, challenging the darkness that threatened to shatter her family. "You are nothing against my love," she screamed, clenching the flashlight with a fervent prayer for rebirth. But as the crack widened, revealing unfamiliar horrors, Lisa felt the ground beneath her tremble dangerously. What if love was the trap laid by the darkness? What if her children were no more than shadows, illusions meant to bind her further into despair? The chilling question hung heavy in the air, as the world around her twisted further into chaos. The air thickened with dread. The crack pulsated, radiating an ominous glow that twisted the very fabric of reality around it. Lisa's flashlight flickered sporadically, dimming against the encroaching darkness. Panic tightened her throat. She grasped onto the last threads of hope, but it felt like trying to hold water in her hands. "Mom, help!" Josh's voice pierced through the chaos, resonating within her breast like a death knell. Their faces seemed so close yet so far, a cruel reminder of the precipice she stood upon. The flickering light illuminated their frightened expressions, as despair pressed down upon her like an iron weight. "You can't give in," Emma cried, her shimmering figure trembling in the oppressive gloom. "Fight for us!" With a desperate roar, Lisa lunged toward the crack, a futile movement crippled by the shackles of the shadows clawing at her. "I'm coming!" she screamed, wanting so fiercely to close the distance, to pull them back from the brink. But the darkness swallowed her words, twisting them into mocking echoes. "Join us," it whispered again, seductive and bitter. The shadows swirled into a cyclone of thrumming energy, their fingers reaching for her skin, biting into her flesh. She staggered, the cold enveloping her, whispering secrets of despair she had tried so hard to forget. Then a new noise cut through the murmur, a child's laughter, the kind that feels innocent, yet raw with eerie undercurrents. It was a sound that sent icy needles down her spine, loud and jarring. It seemed to emerge from the shadows themselves, mingling with the cacophony of anguish. "What is that?" she breathed, heart racing. The shadows shifted, turning fluid and restless as they writhed in agitation. The laughter grew, warping like a disharmonious melody. "Embrace the abyss," the shadows hissed, their voices intertwining like ghostly tendrils. "Let go of your love and be free. There is no pain here, only darkness, only freedom." Lisa's chest tightened, weightlessness tugged at her limbs. Could it be true? Could she surrender to the void, relinquish the burden of fighting? The darkness held an alluring promise, one that sought to pull her deeper into its embrace. But her instinct rebelled. "No, I won't!" she screamed into the black abyss, shaking uncontrollably. "You're lying! I know my children are real!" With every ounce of courage left, she thrust her light toward the crack. It shot out like a lifeline, illuminating the faces of her children again, sharp and clear. They gasped, their expressions morphing into desperation once more. "Mom, please, we need you!" The shadows shrieked, a din of frustration and fury that echoed around her. Tendrils writhed, sensing their grip slipping.
"Hold the light, Lisa!" A voice erupted from the turmoil, powerful and stern. It was her mother's voice. "Margaret!" Lisa's breath caught. "Is it really you?" The darkness froze, and for a heartbeat the shadows receded, as if afraid of the light her voice invoked. But the moment was fleeting. A quicksilver pulse of hope soon drowned in the rising tide of malevolence. "You are too weak! Embrace us! They are but illusions!" The shadows roared, the words dripping with malice. But beneath the swirl of darkness, a darkening figure emerged, twisted and deformed, a thing meant to haunt the edges of her nightmares. It looked at her with eyes like black pits, those hollow sockets devoid of sanity, grinning with a hunger that sent chills spiraling through her core. In that moment, clarity surged within her. "I won't let you take them!" she roared, understanding everything she'd fought for. She was not just battling for herself. It was for the beautiful memories of her children, their laughter, their joys, her reason to rise. She gathered every sliver of love she held. The clash of light and darkness crescendoed, filling the air with a violent energy, an unseen battle that raged with blinding brightness. But just as hope surged, the glow faltered. The shadows retaliated with monstrous force, and Lisa felt them seize her again, the warmth of memories beginning to fracture under the weight of despair. She wavered, a pendulum at the edge of sanity. Was she losing them? Was they slipping away? And in that heart-stopping moment, a question pierced through her, chilling her blood. What if love was the very thing that led her to doom? As the shadows roared back to life, threatening to extinguish her flame, Lisa felt her grasp on reality slipping. The ground beneath her split wider, the luminous forms of her children flickering like dying stars. Was this the end? Would she lose sight of who they truly were? Could her heart withstand the pull of the abyss? The darkness trembled, the laughter dissolved into howls, and as shadows lunged, she braced herself for the unimaginable. The horror was rising, and soon she would need to confront the final truth. Lisa felt the darkness tightening its grip around her heart. It wrapped her in a cold embrace, the chilling whispers growing louder, drowning out the cries of her children. The shadows were relentless, an undulating mass of despair swirling, eager to swallow her whole. Her chest tightened as fear clawed at her insides. But in that moment of desperation, something flickered deep within her, a spark of defiance. "You're wrong," she shouted, her voice cutting through the veil of shadow. "They are real, and I will fight for them." The shadows paused, fleeting surprise washing over the monstrous faces that twisted in the dark. She could see fleeting glimmers of her children's innocent laughter reflected in their eyes, distorting her memories into grotesque caricatures. But Lisa became unshakable. The glow of her flashlight pulsed brighter, illuminating the space around her, forcing the darkness to retreat just slightly. "Remember who you are," she whispered, summoning the warmth and love she held for her children, the endless joy they brought into her life. Each breath pushed her resolve stronger. "We are love. We are light. Shadows cannot exist where love prevails." The ground quaked violently, the shadows writhing, furious at the resistance blooming within her. Tendrils lashed out, searching for a weakness, a crack to exploit. But the light in her heart shone clearer, pulling her memories closer. Lisa saw visions of birthday cakes, the smell of fresh grass during family picnics, the tight hugs after a long day at work. "These moments belong to us," she cried, channeling their brightness into a single beam. "Shut her up!" the creature roared, fury masking its features. But as it lunged toward her, the beam of her flashlight burst forth like a supernova, icy blue radiance bursting into the suffocating darkness. The shadows recoiled, howling in rage and agony. "Not my children!" she screamed, reaching toward the visage of her children, shimmering like fragile orbs of hope. They could be saved if she just held on a moment longer. "Mommy, we need you!" They reached forward, ethereal hands trying to bridge the growing distance between them. The darkness roared fiercely, its grip tightening around Lisa. With each pulse of defiance, she could feel reality shifting, twisting like an endless dream. "No, I see you! You're more than just shadows!" Suddenly, from the depths of the shadows, voices emerged, distorted but familiar. The whispers of long-lost souls echoed heavy in the night. "Join us, Lisa. Let go, and you will find peace." "No!" she shouted, summoning all her strength. "My children are here, and I will not abandon them." Her heart thundered in her chest as she pushed forward, illuminating the path through shadowed coils, her love cutting through the darkness with clarity. And like a dam breaking, the shadows trembled violently, distorted faces swirling in terror as the light surged outward. The darkness shrieked, furious at the opposing force tearing it apart. The tendrils writhed like frenzied serpents, but they were weakening, retreating into the cracks from whence they came. "Mommy, help us!" Emma cried, her form flickering like a candle threatened by a gust of wind. "Hold on, baby," Lisa shouted, reaching for her children. Even with the shadows clawing at her, her resolve grew. "You have no power here!" In a brilliant crescendo, the light erupted from her flashlight, pushing back the shadows with blinding force. It radiated warmth, transforming the fear into a resounding strength. And with that, the swirling shadow mass dissolved, freeing the lost souls that had been trapped in its clutches. "Stay together," Lisa implored, extending her arms toward her children as the darkness peeled away, revealing their frightened faces bathed in shimmering light. "Mommy!" They dashed toward her, and before long her arms enveloped both as they collided into a breathless embrace. Time froze for a moment, the shadows receding far into the distance, leaving only the afterglow of their warmth. "I was so scared," Josh murmured, burying his face in her neck, while Emma's small hands held on to her tightly. Lisa pulled them close, heart pounding with the intensity of the moment, but now filled with fierce love and relief. "You're safe. We're together," she whispered, pressing her cheek against their hair. But the creature was still there, furious and dark. "This isn't over," it hissed, its twisted voice weaving through the air. The shadows shifted ominously, causing Lisa to turn, pulling her children closer to her. She steeled herself against the uncertainty swirling in the air. "I won't let fear take us," Lisa said firmly, determination igniting within her once more. "We will face this together." The darkness began to fracture around them, its hold finally loosening. The shadows screeched in despair as they were banished back to the void from which they came. Light flooded the backyard, bathing everything in gleaming clarity, dispelling the vile darkness that had haunted them for so long. As moments passed, the air lightened. The weight on her chest lifted, the oppressive dread dissipating like fog in the rising morning sun. "Mommy?" Emma whispered, looking up at her with wide, innocent eyes. "We're free, sweetheart. We made it." Lisa smiled brightly, a brightness enveloping her heart, a warmth she feared lost but now regained. Hand in hand, the three of them turned toward their home, the weight of fear slipping away with every step. Lisa felt lighter. She would carry those moments of terror, never letting them overshadow the love that had united them. They had faced the shadows and emerged brighter, determined to embrace every day forward. As they entered their house, the memories of dark nights faded, replaced with the promise of tomorrow, where they would build laughter anew. together, always. Now, if you loved this conclusion as much as we loved bringing it to you, you need to subscribe immediately to the channel so you don't miss the next exclusive stories. Smash that like button now to feed the algorithm and help us grow. Your support really matters. Flood the comments section with your reactions and theories about this ending. What did you think? And don't wait even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this conclusion. Only true fans understand the importance of standing by the channel, so show your support today.